Yo, what up, guys? It's your boy Williams Fitness back again with another video. And to kick off our female athletes week, we have got Autumn Swansen on. Autumn's obviously famous for winning the Tampa and the Arnold Classic, and you've competed 4 times at the Olympia.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so firstly, the reason that why I've got you on and a few other ladies scheduled is because channels like RX Muscle, Next Strength and Power, there's quite a few other channels. They just don't cover female bodybuilding like at all. Whether it's bikini, physique, female open. So I thought, well, if I dedicate a full week to it, maybe this will sort of get the ball rolling with other channels to start, putting a bit more time and effort into the female aspect of the business. So obviously you're the first female we've got on. You're going under what my series, which is called Raw and Uncut, which is basically sort of like a brief biographical synopsis of your younger childhood right through to your pro career. So to start it off, what would you say was your background growing up as a child with regards to like sporting activities and things like that?
I always did gymnastics, like since the age of 3. So I did gymnastics, dance, like tap, jazz, ballet. I cheered like all through high school. I danced in college. So, and I actually did beauty pageants. That's what got me into bodybuilding, because I kept doing really well in the swimsuit category, not even trying, and it was the funniest thing because I met this girl at a pageant, and here she was eating out of her Tupperware, and I was like, what kind of lifestyle is that? Like, she was all muscular, and I really got to talking with her, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I could do this. Oh, they have fitness. I can totally do this. And I just went to my first show. I was a personal trainer at the time, and there was a show in Kentucky. That's where I'm from. And so I go there, and it was the funniest thing because I actually wore like a YMCA personal training like tank top. I thought I was fit, and I go to this bodybuilding show, and I'm like, oh my, like I have my work cut out for me. I felt embarrassed to be, well, you know how you feel at a show anyways, like even now that I'm competing and I'm a seasoned competitor and I'm at a show, I feel so out of shape whenever I'm not the one competing. So yeah, that's my story in a nutshell.
So how old were you when you started like the gymnastics side of things?
I was 3. Yeah.
Wow.
I was 3 years old. So, and then I can remember on TV too, like, that was back when a lot of bodybuilding was on TV and the fitness was on TV, and I would be in the living room and making the moves and everything. And so it was really instilled in me just at a young age for whatever reason. I just felt really led and called to do this crazy sport.
So what part of gymnastics were you focused more on? Was there any particular area of gymnastics that you liked to do the most, or was it just a broad spectrum?
Yeah, I liked floor the most, which that was helpful for me because then I went on to cheerleading, and then with fitness, obviously it's a floor routine. So I always liked tumbling the best.
Okay. So you went from that to beauty pageants, and then obviously straight into your first show.
Yeah,
So
it was actually my cheer coach that entered me in some beauty pageants. That was never like what I wanted to do, but she saw something in me, so which I'm glad she did. So then I, discovered bodybuilding.
So how old were you at your first show?
Oh gosh, you keep asking these types of questions. I don't know. I don't keep track. I'm not a numbers person. My first show, I think I should have looked all this up. Well, I guess it was the Northern. It was like 2008 maybe. Um, and everyone thought I was crazy because the Northern Kentucky was like the biggest show around, but it was the closest to me, and I wasn't going to travel for the first time competing, real far or anything. And I actually had t-shirts made because it was a time in my life where I finances were an issue for me, and I even collected money to even compete, so everyone thought I was crazy. They were like, and it's still today, like I don't know, maybe it's one of those things where you look back kind of like when you're younger and someone's older than you think, whoa, they're big. But I look back at that show and I think I was against like a lot of people. Like I remember there being like 3 call outs of us because I did figure because like I was like, well, let me get my feet wet. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
not do the whole like everything. So like, okay, let me just pose and that's it. So I did figure, but I won my class. I won the overall, like I won the whole show, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're nationally qualified." And I was like, "What does that mean?" Like I had no idea about anything. So, yeah, it's
Okay,
been
so
a long journey.
so obviously you've got a doctorate in physical therapy.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah.
what from did you learn from doing that, and obviously spending so much time in education? Did you be able um, to apply to obviously yourself with regards to training, nutrition?
Yeah, yeah. All of the above. I mean, honestly, so I took a little hiatus from competing to go to physical therapy school. And that was like, it was crazy because, I mean, of course, school was really intense and that was my primary focus. But then all I did other than that was train. So, like, and it was very stressful. So, like, I trained really hard, and that was like 3 years. And I actually really felt like I made so much progress those 3 years because I was just regimented. I was on a schedule, and like it was the one time, it was like my true getaway and my true outlet at that time. And so yeah. Since then, I mean, always like injuries always flare up, on yourself and other people around you. So it's been a very rewarding career because I feel like I can catch things really early with myself and other people, and and then know what to do, how to fix things. So yeah, it has paid off because this is a physically rigorous sport for sure.
Definitely, definitely. So out of the Tampa Pro and Arnold Classic, which one meant the most to you out of the 2 wins?
Oh, well, I've won. I don't want to sound like arrogant, but I've won a lot of pro shows, so I can't even really keep up. Because I really, honestly, and it's getting harder and harder to do, but I try just to do 1 or 2 shows because my goal is to make it just to win. I don't want to go to the Olympia like on points. Like I want to win a show and go because that's the best of the best. Like if you didn't win a pro show, then I feel like why are you even there? I don't know. I don't even think they should do points really. But anyways, because you have so many people that compete all the time and they get all these little points and they're just there, which is great, but it's just like I don't know. I think it
It's,
brings it down.
more
So anyways,
yeah,
so
quality.
yeah, just like last year, I didn't make it. I didn't make it because um, it took me so long to get into shape. And then I had been out of the game so long that when I came back, like my look was not being rewarded. Like the division had changed so much in women's physique. So I actually switched divisions. I switched to figure so that's the first time since like, back my very first show that I did figure and walked in heels. And I know that hurt me a lot. And even my conditioning, like not even talking about my conditioning of like my body, but my breathing conditioning of posing was bad. Like I was in the middle, like because I won Tampa Pro in women's physique the year before, and then the Tampa Pro this last year, which was the last chance to go to Olympia, I did figure. And they liked my look, so I was just happy to get first call outs. But I was honestly in the middle, like the whole time until the very end. And then when I watched the video, that's what I saw. I never got to really confirm that, but my presentation and walking in the heels and the breathe. I mean, I looked like I had a fish in my belly. Like, and I was the first one to fade. Like they worked as hard, but I was the first one to fade. So I think that really hurt me up there. So, anyways, but I wasn't, I was ecstatic, just like I said, just to make first call out because I didn't know am I gonna have to start completely over again? You know, like I've come so far as women's physique, and that's what I'm known as. And then how are they gonna like me now, type thing.
So what
So
did you have to adapt to the most going from one stage to another stage, so to speak? What was the big learning curve there
well,
for you?
the division changed. So going from no heels and hitting bodybuilding poses that I don't even have to think about to hit high heels and hitting these figure poses that it may just be quarter turns, but I'm telling you, like when you're not used to it and you didn't have long to prepare, and then plus there's some other like model poses. It was very hard. Like posing is hard in all the divisions, even the ones that only have two. Like it's still hard. So
Which do you
especially,
prefer now, though?
well, I'm not comfortable in heels yet, but I remember being like that, when I did fitness, because we had to do, I had to wear heels in fitness, and I got used to it, and I'll get better at it. I'd like to try to do more shows this competitive season to get better at it. My goal is to get back to the Olympia. We'll just see, but I haven't really done any damage in figure yet. So, yeah, it may be too lofty, or it may just be what, I need, you know, at this time. So, yeah,
Have you
we'll see.
have you got any
Time will tell.
shows lined up before the Olympia?
I mean, I have, I'm going to try to shoot for, honestly, I'm just trying to get in shape. So I'm kind of like the lead priest of bodybuilding for the females, is what my husband calls me. I get fat, and it's not intentional, but it just happens. And so then I have to just kill myself, and every year it takes longer and longer and longer. So I'm gonna just try. I've become that New Year's resolution person. I started January 1st, and I'm down like 15 pounds. So just going to keep going. And whenever I'm ready, I want to do a string of shows just to get the experience. And plus, I have muscle leg that will help me now competing. So they cover some of my when I go to shows. So,
So what is
that
muscle leg?
muscle egg, yeah, because see, I was thinking, could we get that over there? Muscle egg, you guys might have something like this over there. It's flavored egg whites. So there's all different flavors, like literally, like there's chocolate, tastes like chocolate milk, there's cake batter, there's fruit cereal that tastes like Fruit Loops, like milk at the bottom of your cereal. It's good stuff. Yeah, it's very good.
Send me
So
the link. I'll put it in the description for you.
yeah. It's awesome. And then they have powders that will ship to other countries and so forth, but I'm not sure exactly where all they will
So
go to. But
are you aiming for the Olympia stage this year?
I am. I am. And then there's the rock show, which is super
Ooh.
exciting. So, and that would be after the Olympia. So, I really have some some high bars here, but that would be ideal to be able to go to the Olympia and then to be selected for that, because I'm sure there's a big selection process for that. I think they're gonna,
Do you think
treat
they'll
it.
do the selection process before the Olympia, or go from results of the
I
Olympia?
think I probably wait. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna do it, because I'm trying to think of how close it is together. So, but yeah, either way, I hope to have done some figure shows, before then. That would help me. I don't know how, especially with it being the first one. I'm sure,
Yeah.
I know they want it to be high caliber, but they're probably going to take, the first one. They're probably going to take more of us. I don't know. So we'll see. Those are my goals.
Okay, so have you got any advice for any young females that want to get into anything to do with, whether it's figure, any divisions that you've been in? What advice from what you've learned going through the processes you've been through, what advice would you give to any younger girls that want to do what you've done?
I would say always, always, always be very grateful for the body you're in at that time, because you are always going to look back and realize what you had. Like always, like you'll think in that moment, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be ready. Oh my gosh. And then you'll see that photo or that moment or that video or that whatever. And you're like, oh my gosh, I was like so good. Why was I thinking why was I doubting myself? And then that's just going to keep happening. Like you're never going to realize you're like how good you are until like that has already passed. So like I just think that no matter like where you're at, just be really grateful for like all that you've achieved to create that, because like I said, you'll realize it in hindsight. So yeah, that's my advice.
Brilliant, brilliant. So is there anything that you want to sign off with? Anything that you want to plug? Anything promotional? I'm happy for you to.
Yeah, so I also have a supplement sponsor, New Ethics Formulations. They're more of a health and wellness company, targeting that. Yeah, I have a list of them, so you can check out on my Instagrams, on my link tree. I have all those linked, but those are my main two, is my Muscle Egg and New Ethics. So those are the main ones that support me in doing this. But yeah, I didn't know what this was going to be about, so thanks for having me. You didn't even we didn't even really, like, for those of you watching, he just hit the record. Like, it was like, hi, record. I was like, okay, we're not even going to discuss what we're going to talk about. So
it makes it more spontaneous that way. I've
yeah,
done this before. Yeah. I think if you talk, people sort of like rehearse things they want to say. So it doesn't make it a conversation. It makes it sort of.
I would have maybe rehearsed the dates, though. Like, let me.
Yeah, but it makes it more natural, doesn't it, I think?
Yeah.
So Autumn's Instagram link is going to be in the description below, along with her Muscle Egg. So if you send me those links over, they'll all be in the description below. Autumn, you've been the first female athlete we've had on the channel, so thank you very much. Yeah, hopefully the first of many. When you confirm your next show, let us know after, so when we can have you on with the trophy when you've won.
Okay. All right. More incentive.
But again, thank you so much for coming on, Autumn. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yes, no problem. Thanks for having me.